Hey there, Bridgerland Dog Off. Anyway, probably hopefully I'll get more videos done. I need to get a whole bunch of videos done on my work and, like I said, websites. Anyway, there are two statements that, or quotes, or whatever you want to call them, that I have held on to my entire life. And I want to share those with you really quick. So, one is, and they both come from the book, the third book in the trilogy of the Lynn Andrews books. And for all of you that think that those books are fiction, they're not. I've been in situations, we'll call it shamanically, where, these kinds of things are happening and they're taking place. I think that this world is mostly made up of doorways and beings and battles and magic, if you want to call it, kind of experiences. And some of us are on the front line of that. But growing up in a family of duty, 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 I call it the duty, duty. I grew up in the duty, duty, and not like most people. Most people grow up in the solid world. And I always, when I was growing up, gravitated and navigated myself towards information that was more duty, 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 duty oriented, right? Because I needed to further my growth and further my understanding, kind of a thing. And, work my own. The really great thing about shamanism is that there's training, and every person that you train from, you even working with native people, medicine people, which is the same as shamanism. Shaman is a word that comes from Russia, though. It's strictly is descriptive of the people, the Siberian people that in North America would be called medicine people, but in their world they're called shamans. And so medicine people are very similar to shaman people. So a lot of people misuse that word shaman. Anyway, so when I was in high school, I read the Lynn Andrews trilogy, and it was like a cool drink of water in 150-degree desert. But I read a lot of stuff during that time period. I read a lot of, all the Carlo Castaneda books from age 14 on. I read, like I tell people, the Jane Roberts books, Seth books. And a lot of my training has been around navigating away from channelers because of my own experiences and training around those kinds of things, which I have found personally through my teachers that are bad, very, very, very bad. And those beings are very, very bad. And they always like to appear as light. My Lakota medicine woman teacher, Lakota Sioux teacher, she said that the darkest beings will show up as the lightest beings. And, they know what you want to hear. They know that you have a self-importance. I mean, one of the biggest things that we strive for in shamanism is, removing the self-importance. And it's a hard job, It's really hard to stay in a neutral observation place, no matter what happens, and not, have an internal tidal waves going on all the time. Because, some of these shamanism experiences, so I was watching the Spectre 007 movie last night, and because I normally don't have TV, which was an interesting movie. But one of the things that the guy says to 007, he says something like, "You're a kite in a hurricane." And that's what real shamanism is that you end up in these experiences, these altered dimensions or things that are going on, and you're a kite in a hurricane. That's why I do not advocate ayahuasca, DMT, and peyote without traditional training. And having a roadman, a native person, original person, shamanic person, medicine person, delivering the medicine and helping you through your journey. It should not be taken just because, recreationally, because it can literally destroy you. It could damage you irreparably. Those places and those worlds are not meant to go into without a journeyman, a roadman to take you in and prepare you for that. So, okay, anyway, so I better get back to the two statements that are made in the third trilogy book of Lynn Andrews' books. One is a life predicted by time. And you can chew on that for a while. But your whole life is predicted by time. You're never going to ascend. You're never going to become that which you are, because your life is predicted by time. I mean, if you're trying to walk down any kind of ascension path or whatever, and you got a 9-to-5 job, right there, boom, it's over, game over. A life predicted by time. Oh yeah, I got a 9-to-5 job Monday through Friday. So the prediction is you're going to be working in the future at a job from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So impossible to listen to the Creator and to follow the Creator. And yeah, well, will you end up in situations that are not good most of the time? Hell yeah, because the Creator needs you to go places and do things that need to be done. And sometimes it ain't cotton candy and unicorn farts. It's like, hold on to my pantyhose. Just freak out. Okay, so a life predicted by time. Yeah, so chew on that. Think about what that means. And I usually, if I do have an office or I do have a solid workspace for a while, I put that up. I write it down and I paste it right in front of my computer so that I can remember to not monitor time. And it's hard. If I'm scheduled a month in advance to go work on somebody at Tuesday night at 6 p.m., I'm stuck in a life predicted by time. And I'm still working on trying to figure out how to navigate that. How do I navigate that? I just try to navigate not adhering to time the rest of the time and try to do what I feel called to do in the next moment. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I, wanted to go to this little park, nature park, to take my dog. And everything kind of keeps standing in the way of it. But finally got on the road, drove there. And what did I find? I found a bird that was fighting, that had its leg wrapped in fishing line because it had gathered fishing line at the river and put it into its nest. And while it was fixing the nest, it got it around its leg. So this bird is squawking and flying, and I had to climb up in the tree. I couldn't get anyone else at the park to help me. They all looked at me like I was crazy. Creator asked me to go there and help his creation. You know what I mean? even the littlest bird matters, you know, like even the smallest pebble on a beach matters to the Creator. And that's another video we'll talk about. Maybe I'll do that one after this one. But I was like up in this tree going, hey, can somebody get me a knife or whatever else? And, you know, I ended up having to pull all this, you know, because I don't want the little baby birds to get their necks caught. I mean, what a horrible way to die. Just a horrible way. But it had broke the bird's leg. I mean, it was still hanging on. And, you know, all I could do was get it cut. I grabbed the bird. I'm kind of holding it down so the people could snip the line and take the line off. And then the bird flew. And then I noticed that it went into the bushes, and that's all I could do was I could set it free, right? It probably wasn't going to make it. It was probably going to bleed out because birds don't really clot up well. But at least it was free. At least it could, you know, die in the bushes kind of on the ground, touching the earth, you know, instead of being tethered to some line, like, you know, dying a long, horrible, slow death. So things like that. So if I'm living a life predicted by time, I'm missing out on the stewardship, the job that Creator needs me to do. Be the action hero on the ground, getting the message, hey, I need you to go over to this park. It's like, I don't have time. Creator's like, I need you to go over to the park. I'm like, I don't have time. I need you to go over to the park. Okay, I'll go to the park. I should have listened the first time. Maybe the bird would have had less damage. So that's kind of like, you know, and it requires you letting go of money. God doesn't need money. You know, I guess the popular belief is that God does need money because most people that go to church give money. But the Creator doesn't need money. Creator needs you to do your job. Creator needs you to like wake up and pay attention to the creation that He created so that you can co-create. Co-create doesn't mean money and a mansion on a hill and manifestation of your own will and desires based out of your egos or insecurities. Creator needs you to be where you need to be because Creator needs you to be there. So you're either working for the light forces or you're working for the dark forces. So if you're conjuring and manifesting your own reality, you're working for the dark forces. Wake up. Work for the Creator. It's much more meaningful work. Heal the soil. Heal the trees. Talk to all these things. These things will talk to you. Be in alignment. It's hard. It's hard. Because there are no guarantees. When you wake up and you walk the red road, there's no money. There's probably going to be poverty. There's probably going to be times where you have to eat out of a dumpster. Because people don't care in this world, especially in America. They don't care. And they think that the work that the Creator or God needs you to do is entirely insignificant and unimportant. But if I wasn't doing this work, and the native people weren't doing this work, and the shamans weren't doing this work, this place would be a lot worse. I mean, it's still pretty bad. There's not enough of us on the ground. We're all working our butts off. And lots of my teachers keep dropping dead because they serve the world. They serve the planet. They serve the mother. They serve the Creator. And it takes a toll. It takes a big toll. It takes their life. They give their life. So the second statement or quote, same book, Lynn Andrews, the third book in the trilogy, is all things, everything exist by agreement. For me, that means because I agree to it. So I agree to work a 9-to-5 job so that my life is predicted by time. It's not predicted by fate or destiny or whatever other kind of bullshit things people can think of. But everything exists by agreement because I agree to it. And this isn't like manifestation, conjuring, getting my own reality. Oh, my mansion on the hill with a swimming pool. It isn't about that. It's the agreements that you're making. So are you walking the dark road or are you walking the light road? And you know what? When you walk the light road, there's no guarantees. Like I said, there are no guarantees what's going to happen. But the thing is, you have integrity. You have the most important relationships, 2 relationships that you should have. One with the Creator of all things. And 2, the Earth Mother and all living beings on the Earth Mother. Those are the only 2 things that matter in this world. Period. So if your agreements are to anything else, a job, money, a happy ever after, a significant other, you're going to be walking a road that's probably going to make you really unhappy in the long run at some point. Especially when you realize you gave your life to those things. And you could have given your life to something else. You could have given your life to the Creator. You could have given your life to a living being. The earth, the soil, the air, the water. You could have given your life for the protection of the water for the next bazillion years. And whatever needed it on this planet for the next bazillion years. Instead of something that's just a flash, a corporation, a job. It's just a flash. And it's kind of on the dark side. Kind of walking the road of the dark side because of selfishness and greed and ego or insecurities, whatever it is within you. You can always turn that ambition into growing food, growing a garden, growing a relationship. And the Native people say, all my relations, how I relate to all, and how all relates to me. Right? Not how I relate to gold or I relate to money and how money relates to me. And yeah, are we in a place where we need those things? Because we need a roof over our head, because we need heating and air conditioning. We need money, we need clothes, we need this. Well, how much of that do you need? I mean, come on, seriously. We're kind of at a point where some of us need to go, you know what? I need to find another way, right? I need to find another way how to make these things happen in a good way, with a good heart, and live with less so that I can walk the good road and get away from walking the bad road, the road of darkness, the more of us that start walking the good road, that step away from the things of this world that are not good, then the more that this world will turn and it'll be beneficial for all. It'll be beneficial for that tree. It'll be beneficial for the soil. It'll be beneficial for the water. It'll be beneficial for all the things that are going to be here for a long, long time, way longer than my body, than this meat suit, than this bio suit. So, okay, 2 quotes. A life predicted by time, and all things exist by agreement. Everything exists by agreement. So when we don't agree to the existence of the trees and the water and the air, and we agree to the corporation, to the bank account and the money, what do you think is going to thrive? So, walking the good road or the path of enlightenment or whatever you're going to call it is surrendering to the things that are important for no reason other than they're going to be here a lot longer than you. And they're the things that matter. Nobody is going to be living on this planet without trees. Trees are dying. They're also being cut down. When oxygen is gone, what do you think is going to happen to you? You're going to die. Your children are going to die. Everyone you know is going to die. Everything on this planet is going to die. So, giving your life, making an agreement, a new agreement to the trees, to the life of the trees, to the environment that matters for the life of the trees, that is the work of co-creation and the creator. That's what matters. All right, Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, hope you enjoyed that. Consciousness of Economics and Urban Farm Project.